Okay then.
Good evening, one and all, and a very, very warm welcome to you on this podcast. In this podcast today, we have a very special guest presenting to you Dolrich Malong, who is actually a veteran Air Force personnel, and he has also been passionate educator doing some training programs, especially in northeast part of the country. He has relevant 20 years of experience into military. He comes with a huge, I would say, body of work in his field, and now he is ready to contribute to the other side, that is the educator's side, for development of everybody's creative skills, language skills, soft skills, and the likes. He is a certified soft skills and communication skills trainer who also conducts batches in IELTS. Dolrich has a very, very strong is a very strong analytical thinker and a resilient personality. He calls himself a lifelong learner and has an extensive travel experience that has exposed him to diverse cultures. That's also where most of his learnings come from. And he has been a sensitive introvert socially. However, when we speak with him, he comes out as very, very confident. So, with a huge round of applause, let's welcome Dolrich Mealong. Dolrich, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Well, that was I don't I don't know how to react to that, but I'm so grateful that I get this opportunity thanks to Elvis. He announced that whoever wants to come in this podcast, sharing your story, it need not be a big story, heroic story. So that related to me, and I'm happy to have you as a host. I look forward to your questions, and I'll be sharing the experiences that I've had till now and what I look for in the future. Thank you.
Sure, thank you very much. Okay, now as we say, it is quite human to err. So I just skipped introducing myself. Hello, everybody. This is Priya Rathod. I'm going to be a host and your dose today in this podcast. That's it about me today. More about Dolrich today. Dolrich, you seem to have a really good, extensive military background, and that too in not the army, not the navy, but Air Force. So, in fact, whenever we listen to anybody who has some kind of a background of military and defense, we have our tentacles up because we feel that we can learn so much from them. So, can you tell us something, encapsulate your experience into a few words, and tell us something about your experience in the Air Force and how did it add value to you as a person today?
Thank you for that question. First of all, let me keep all the three services in parallel. Army has its own advantages, and Navy has their own advantages. So I just happen to belong to Air Force, and how I get into military, that means Air Force. Well, I was an avid reader, and I read in a book somewhere, and that book is by an Indian writer only, George Kaitolin. It's the name of the book is "Make Self-Reliance Your Target." One line struck me there, and that is, it is written somewhere in some institute far away uh, from India that it is a sin for someone who is 18 years old and still depend on his parents, his or her parents. That really struck me. So that was I was in school and I made a decision. I didn't know that time, but I made a decision in my heart that I should be financially independent by the time I'm 18. So there were no career guidance in our time. I chose commerce because it was different. I knew arts already, and I was not. good with chemistry. So I hated chemistry, so I didn't choose science and I didn't choose arts because already knew the subject. But I chose commerce because it was kind of different and new to me. So, and
Okay.
then, yeah, after the 12th, we had PU at that time. Okay, PU1, PU2. Okay, so after PU, I did the first year BCom, and after during the first year BCom, I gave an exam to the a rally that was going on. There was no application. You just go to a rally, give written examination, and those who scored high, those who get selected, they go for the medical next day. So that's how I got selected. I mean, no one guided me. I did not know what Air Force what Army was. I didn't know there were ranks. There were different category of entry. That means you can enter as an officer, you can enter as a soldier, Jawan, right? So I just jumped into it. And luckily, my father, even though I'm the only son that time, my father, he left it to me to choose. So I chose to join. And it was at the time when I had to pay for my second year degree for the fees. And I chose not to pay. And I took permission from the principal that if I don't get selected, because there's a medical again, it is beyond 6 months, so they will redo the medical. So if I don't get selected, I will come back and pay the fees. I wrote an application and I got approved. So I went with peace that even if I don't get selected, I'll come and join the college again. But then when I went there, you know what? The first thing was a cultural shock. I came from a small town in a small state of India. It is a hilly state. We don't have train station here in the state. Okay. So traveling by train first time, reaching Bangalore, and then there I experienced cultural shock. And that is people from the plains are so smart, so active, so outspoken, and they always seem to know almost everything. And I knew nothing. And from my state, I was the only one going. But luckily, there were many from Northeast. Okay. We somehow connected, but then, even then, zero friends I had. But then I had to make friends. And then one more thing. I'm sensitive even now, very sensitive by nature. Okay. So I was sensitive and I had to face all of this social awkwardness. I had to overcome all those things. And you know what? The military does not allow you to think too much, especially in the training area, the basic training, especially. They'll keep you busy. So that really helped me a lot. So you can say confidence has come because over the years, yes, it has developed over the years, not instantly, but it's due to action. We almost never had time to rest. So when you're continuously taking action, you gain confidence. So yeah, that's how. And it has taught me, yes, of course, discipline. And I learned a lot because I interacted with people from all parts of India, and we get transfers every now and then. So you travel alone, you make friends, you are forced to make new friends everywhere. So that really opened up my mind. It opened up opportunities to get to work with people. I'm happy. I learned a lot. Yes.
Okay, that's really fantastic, Doldridge. I really like that part when you said that I told my principal that I will come back, I will pay the fees if I don't get selected. It's like a chance that you've taken on yourself. Now, tell us about your experience within the Air Force. What are the things that you really were delighted? Now, that about the journey that you've transitioned into Air Force, you told us. In the Air Force, what was your experience like? Being an officer, flying jets, a little bit about that, if you can tell us.
Okay, okay. Like I told, I didn't know the entry that you can enter as an officer, you can enter as an airman. Okay, I entered as an airman. So basically, airmen they don't fly airplanes. Okay, and even officers, not all officers fly airplanes. There are divisions, there are admins, and there are flying branch, and there's maintenance branch. Okay, so I joined as a telephone operator, and in modern words, they call it now communication technician. So communication, by default, again, it's an advantage for me. Learning so much about communication, the technical part, and also being an operator, connecting calls. for VIPs, sometimes for all ranks and connect. We used to connect calls. Okay. So we had to be polite. We had to listen clearly. So communication skills build up really deep inside all the operators. Okay. So that is the technical part, my trade. Now, when it comes to general experience, I like the fact that, we are united by one mission, and that is, to serve the country, to protect the nation, right? Regardless of where we came from,
Right, right,
yeah, or which caste or creed we belong to, we eat together, we sleep together, we walk together as a team. That was the best thing that I learned. Teamwork, team spirit, you know, camaraderie, all of these I learned in the military. As discipline is the basic required of all, right? But more thing we learn is how to be open-minded. That uh, it's not about me; it's about us as a group. And when we stay strong, when we communicate clearly, when we trust each other, we build a strong team, right? So that I learned from the military. I couldn't have learned this anywhere else for obvious reason. We were forced to make friends, to trust each other. We were sent together somewhere. Even if you don't like that person, you have to like that person because you have to work together, right? Yeah.
right.
This I learned this, and I'm really glad that I was, like I said, no career guidance, but I somehow joined. So and there is respect we get when we go back home.
Right,
That was an experience we will never forget.
right, right, right.
A huge. I mean, they look up to us, the civilian, and when we talk civilians, they could make out that this person is not from here. In any state we go, even in my own home state, they understand that this person has not grown up here, but I grown up here. But the way I speak has changed, being more open-minded, having active listening and telling things that they have not seen. Okay, so yes, I can proudly say that all, not only me, all soldiers, they have seen more India than any other profession. Why? Because
Correct.
they travel physically, they travel to all the places,
True.
and they meet in all the places they go, they meet people from all parts of India and they work with them.
Yes, yes,
So
true.
we are exposed to that, and yeah, yeah.
We really liked that part when you said that there's a lot of discipline that is taught in the armed forces. It's not difficult to distinguish a person who's from the armed forces when they write in front of us. Either it isn't about, it's just something about the demeanor, something about the way they speak. Yes, absolutely. And I really like that part when you said that even you have to travel with a person even if you don't like them. So that gives you a little, you have to work and you have to work on your interpersonal relationships with them, and you end up because you have one mission. So that was very well done. Now, please tell us about uh, you were serving in the Indian Air Force for 20 years. What made you take that shift and the transition from that field into another field? So we would like to know a little bit about that. Don't you miss, and also tell us, don't you miss your Air Force days and everything?
Yeah, when it comes to missing, mm, I am proud till now, and whenever there's a fighter jet or even a helicopter flying overhead, I get goosebumps even now that I was a part of that. All right. But missing, because I'll come to the missing part later. Uh, what happened is, like I told you, being a sensitive person, so many things hit me emotionally, mentally, they hit me that people are so confident. I'm not. They are so assertive. I'm not. But we are supposed to be, right? Thankfully, I was not in infantry or army, you can say, because there you demand again, it demand much more extrovertedness. But I was an introvert, and even now I'm an introvert. So sensitive by nature I was, and I used to get hurt by little things. So you can imagine, military. There's a lot of scolding, lot of shouting if you don't do in time, right? So those things they hit me in the in the beginning, but once I learned that this is not for me, this is for everyone, then I learned to adapt. I learned to accept it. That since I joined this, and we all knew at the time of joining that we have signed a contract for 20 years, right? So at least we know. So 20 years, we have to do this, whatever. So better enjoy it, right? Why cry when you know you have to be there? If you cannot do anything about it, then enjoy it. So I enjoyed. And then uh, the transition starts when I started thinking, why does it hurt me when I get shouted, when I get insulted, when I get whatever? I mean, things happen, right? Not everything is rosy painted and not everything is a rainbow out there in the military. Things happen and conflict happen. And then I realized why I was the only one who's hurt and others are not hurt. I mean, they could shake it off very easily. I could not shake off things easily. It will make me think. I will overthink for a week, for a month. What happened that time? Why he did that to me? Why I said that way? Why I behaved that way? So then I started thinking, why? Why I was hurting inside. So then I went into the, so many search online. Thankfully, there was the internet at the time. And yes, there was a mentor. I have to mention this. There was a mentor who was always in contact with me. That was a serving officer. Now he's no more. Sorry, he was a retired lieutenant colonel from the army. He was working in a Zila Sainik welfare office. Okay, so he mentored me both by phone, by letter, and whenever I would come on leave, I used to meet him. We became so close. Even now, with his children, we still talk to each other now. And he mentored me. He helped me navigate this military life, and he gave me the big picture of see, Dorich. Uh, Not everything is for you. You are part of it. You are a small part of it. So just go along, accept it, and learn the ropes. Okay. And he said, happy landings. The word that he ended in that letter was happy landings. In Air Force, what comes down must go up, he said. So that really inspired me, and he kept motivating me. And I went through a lot, and I started searching, like I said, in the internet, the psychometric tests. I mean, the everything on those tests. What about my personality? You know, then I found out that I am an introvert, and introverts behave this way, and they get hurt easily, and they are sensitive. Okay, so all these things. Now I realize I'm not alone. And then what more? I started searching what are the careers for introverts. Okay, and I used to love explaining. I used to read a lot. I was an avid reader. I read a lot. I used to admire great speakers. So something came in me that I could be and should be a speaker, a trainer, a teacher, something like that. An educator. I didn't know at the time that a word educator also exists. All I knew was a teacher, speaker. Okay. Even trainer. I learned in the last 4 or 5 years only the word trainer. So after I done this test, the careers that showed me, because we all knew after 20 years we have to decide whether to stay or to go, right? Because there will come a time when we have to decide. They will ask us, you want to continue or you want to quit? All right. So the thing that made me say I will not continue is when I realized my own strengths. That is, as an introvert, as a person who observes a lot, as a person who loves psychology, this is my field. All right. And whenever I explain something, I explain in depth. Sometimes people get bored. For a small thing, if I have to explain, I explain all the details, why it is so, how it is so. People get bored. It's just, you just give me the fact. Then I realize, okay, this is whatever I have to explain, it's not for everyone. So it's for only those who want to learn, right? So there are audience for that. Then I realize, okay, there is something as a niche. Oh, now I have to find my niche now. So all of these, I was curious. And while others before leaving the Air Force, what they used to do, they will prepare for the next career, like banks, staff selection commission. They will prepare for that. And otherwise, they'll find if they have someone relative doing a business, they will join them. Okay. But most of the people who leave the military after 20 years, you can say, or after 25, 23, 25 years, what they usually do is they'll find a job and they will upskill themselves. They will go to coaching to secure that job, right? For me, what I was doing, I was in Delhi and I used to attend webinars, master classes, seminars. Dave Garvey, I have attended seminar and, Success Gyan, Adias Lawrence, and Ram Verma in new NLP, and then Arfin Khan. I did so many courses and short courses, and I was a part of. I joined the Toastmasters Club in Gurgaon, and it was a very good experience. Again, the confidence, the structure of a speech, I learned from there. So yes, when you do something about it, you gain confidence, and when you upskill, you're doing something in that field, you gain confidence. So when I came to know that this is my field, training, education, this is my field. When I became so sure, it became so easy for me to decide when they ask, do you want to continue? A time will come, 1 year, more than 1 year before you reach your 20 years career, they will ask you whether you want to continue or you want to quit. So it's very easy to say. For me, it was like, okay, where's the form? Where do I sign? It's no longer what should I do, this or this. Okay, even though I knew this is risky because I don't want to get into a job. I want to train, not same people. I want to train different people in different locations.
Correct.
So
Right.
that's what, yeah, that's how I decide, and it was very easy for me to decide I should quit and I should pursue this. And by the time I have already attended many seminars and I have read so many books. I'm curious now to give output.
Okay. So what we gather from this is that you have transitioned into the Air Force, from the Air Force to the educator's field because you were able to understand your personality profile was
Yeah,
more of a sensitive introvert,
yeah,
and you felt that actually introverts are very good listeners, and that is why
yeah,
they can speculate on a lot of things, and they can deep down go into and introspect rather. And
yeah,
that introspection with a good command of good communication is most definite recipe for an educator. Okay, so we get that. So now that you have transitioned into the educators field,
yeah,
any challenges that you have faced from transitioning into this field right now, what are the challenges that you feel as an educator for you to gain ground in the market coming from a completely different field? So what are your first few, or I would say top three challenges that you would like to enlist, especially when it comes to your challenge as an educator coming from an absolutely unrelated field? Over to you.
yeah. Good. Yeah, it's a very good question. Thank you for that. The number one challenge that any new trainer would face is who will know them, who will accept them, who will call them to train. Who are you? I mean, the question is, who are you? What do you have? So you really have to choose something or some audience that will listen to you, that you have value and you know that they value what you have to say. Meaning you don't go directly to adults to train adults. You have to find students, okay, or youth. So what I did was, due to my interest, and I already completed a basic certification in career counseling. So I had that confidence that yes, now they should listen to me. I have this certificate, so you should listen to me. I know something that you don't. Okay, so that kind of conversation among friends and relatives. So they came to know someone somehow. One person called me, you come and give a career guidance seminar, okay, for the local youths. I went there. Again, I gained confidence from that, and people started knowing. And then what did I do? Again, you cannot force people to listen to you, right? So what is the next best thing? Start a YouTube channel. I have been so much consuming content. Now I want to give out and I want my ideas to stay somewhere, right? So I started a blog. I made my own website from scratch and I have written there like 18 to 19 articles. Okay. And then I started a YouTube channel. I didn't do it for views, for likes. What I did was there was so much consumption. Let me produce now. Let my ideas stay somewhere live so that they don't go away. Okay. So I started YouTube channel and it started with a challenge from our mentor. We had a mentor at the time as a group, and he challenged us to make 1 minute video per day continuously for 30 days. I was the first one to complete that 30 days among all of us. And then I said, why should I stop at 30? And then I used to post everywhere on LinkedIn, on Facebook, on YouTube, you know. And there are some who like me, who follows me that time also. And I asked them, should I stop at 30 or I want to continue to 100? Let's see what happens if I keep on posting content 100 days, 1 minute, only 1 minute. So they said, yes, you can go on. My friends, relatives, yes, please continue. The momentum was there, right? So I shoot out content and then 100 days. From 100 days, again, I challenged myself, why stop at 100? Why not make it 365? And then I went on completing 365 videos every day. I mean, there was only 2, 3 days when I was sick. I couldn't make it. Other than that, I continued. So I built consistency. I didn't care for views and likes because it's human nature to see how many views, how many likes. But when the making, at the time of making, I don't think of views and likes. It's all about expression. Even if you go now to my YouTube channels, you can see that I didn't care much about what I should do. It's just that what is inside, it should come out. So you can say it worked and it didn't work. But what happened is uh, I participated in a public speaking contest. I success again. That is super speaker. So in the first season, I crossed the top 1,000 and then the top, top 250 out of 2 lakhs plus. I said, wow, this is good. I mean, I could do this. Confidence came again. And then people started knowing. Okay. And then it happened that one of the local trainers here, he saw my video and we started connect because he also was participating in the same contest. We reached the same stage. So we connected. And then he said, I like your passion of, you speak with passion all the time. So he said, we should collaborate. Then we met up and then we collaborated. Okay. So I would advise any new trainers, if you have the confidence, put your content online, get some certification. I did my certification also. But even then, before I did the major certification of 6 months, I did the certification of 10 days. From there also, I gained confidence and I gained network. I mean, I connected with a lot of people, same mindset. So if any new trainer is there and having doubts, see, if you are a trainer, you already have confidence. So if you have confidence, why not post something online? Like I said, it doesn't have to be 1 hour. It doesn't have to be 10 minutes. It could be 1 minute. It could be 30 seconds. Why not start? Right? So you start, you gain the confidence, and then you reach out to schools and colleges. So what my friend asked me, he asked me to collaborate. So I collaborated with him. We went to colleges. Okay. PGT college, fresh graduates were there, and then PGT students were there, and then village resource persons were there, leadership training. For the college students, we did soft skills 1 month. So from there, again, exposure, I get exposed. You have to either reach out to the schools, someone who could listen to you because you have more age, more experience, you have more context, you have something, you know something that they don't, right? So they will listen to you.
Yeah,
So
correct.
either you collaborate or you go to schools and colleges or you put something online, but you cannot wait for people to come and call you just because you are an expert. No, you have to expose yourself. You like it or not, you have to expose. You have to go out and approach people.
Yes, right.
That,
That was
that's
precisely going to be my next question to you about your recommendation for new trainers, but then you've answered it now. Okay, now a
okay.
very, very important question that I have for you, which our listeners would want to know. What, according to you, are the key elements? Now, we have only 10 minutes to go, according to our time. Now, we are already 30 minutes done. So, what are the
Okay.
key elements of effective communication that you have? Any recommendations that you would like to give
Sure,
for
sure,
our
sure,
listeners
sure, sure,
in Zoom?
sure.
Yeah.
I love that question because it's a very important question, very crucial, and it's the key for anything else to happen. Communication has to be good, right? So as I said, I was trained as a telephone operator, and we know both the technical part of it and the practical part of it. Okay, the theory part of it. So in communication, it has to be two-way, first of all. For two-way communication to happen, you have to listen. You have to know whom you're speaking to, their age, their gender, where they're coming from, what do they want, what do they need to hear, right? And in the first hello itself, you could sense the energy, either by phone or by video call, or if you meet in person. From the first hello, you can sense the energy. So if you are a good listener, you look into their body language. If you cannot look, then you sense into the tone of voice, right? You have to be a good listener, first of all. And there has to be an acknowledgement of what you said, what you communicated. If there is no acknowledgement, either by body language, like a nod, or if they're confused, you will make it out from the body language that they are confused, they don't understand, and then change accordingly, right? You go to their level. You have to go to their level. If they are 5 year old, you have to explain very simple language. And we are all advised to speak as if the person in front of you is a 5 year old. That's the best way. But then you'll use very simple language. You will not use jargons, technical jargons, even if you know, right? So it makes it easier for a person to understand. Okay. So listening skill, active listening is the number one element of communication. And then, like I said, there has to be a two ways. You know, as a telephone operator, we are trained in RT, that is radio telephony operation. That means you can say a wireless. You have seen the police, right? Use wireless. Security guards use the wireless, right? Whenever we communicate on a wireless, we always wait for acknowledgement. We say something very slow, very clear, very concise. We don't speak in vague ideas. Everything is clear, succinct, and to the point, and we speak slow, loud, and clear. And then what happens? If we don't get the acknowledgement, we don't assume that the communication has happened. We will press again. We'll ask again, confirm received. Again, if no acknowledgement, we'll ask confirm received. Okay, so this is very important. Do not assume that the communication has happened. That's a very dangerous state you're creating yourself. If you assume that the communication has happened, no, you should get an acknowledgement either through RT, wireless. What do you do here? You have seen in films or maybe in real life, Roger that. They say, right? The other party will say Roger or will comply. Okay, so got it. Something like that. Over and out. That means everything is clear now. Over and out. Assuming that a communication has happened is a dangerous place. First of all, is listening, active listening. And when you communicate, communicate clearly in simple language, and then you wait for acknowledgement. Do not continue. And you have to know whom you're speaking to. So knowing your audience is very important, and speak slowly. Because when you speak fast, you think you're conveying a lot, but the person may not grasp all of what you've just said. That's all from my side.
Sure, sure,
Yeah.
sure. Thank you, thank you. And one last question that we have another 5 minutes for is that what are your forward plans? What is that you would like to do next? What kind of journey would you like to embark upon, which is going to take you onto a road that you have dreamt of and you aspire to be in? Over to you.
Yeah, that sounds exciting because technology, you can say, age, you can say, the age that we live in is abundantly offering us with opportunities. So what I'm looking forward is to collaborate. I have to set up something. I want to build an office, a company, an office, register it, and then collaborate with others. Because when you see other smart people, you shouldn't be intimidated by them. Remember that. It's better to make friends with them. It's better to collaborate with them because the market is abundant. You alone cannot serve the whole India. Forget about it. I cannot serve the whole Shillong. I know that. It's too big. So let others do their thing. You do your thing. If they agree, they find you conducive, your personality is matching with them, they could relate to you, they will collaborate. But you should try to reach out. Always try to reach out and collaborate. Because uh, alone is like a one man army. It looks good in the movies, one man army. In real life, no, no, no. You need collaboration. Like I said, when you see smarter people who are smarter than you, make friends with them. Don't try to beat them. Don't see them as your competition. See them as someone who's doing their thing, you do your thing. If they collaborate, fine. If they don't, find someone else, but try to find people in the same field who whom you can connect, you can relate with, collaborate with them. Because there, what happens is in training also, I found this, especially if it's a whole day training. If it's a 1 hour, I can deliver alone. If it's a whole day training, what happens is during activities, because effective training is through activities only, and during activities you get lost in one particular activity and you don't see what the other, I mean, some audience are busy somewhere else, they are not understanding and they are not following. So when you are alone, you get burned out, you have to run again from one corner to the next, and then what next to do, you have to do a lot, and you will get burned out if it's a whole day training. But when you have two trainers, again, you're not subjective, you're not caught up in the activity. You know someone is observing something else and they will give you feedback. Again, when that trainer trains, you get to rest. Your thoughts come, new ideas come. You see how to manage the class, how to manage the room, how to control the crowd, how to control the audience, how to motivate them. You can see someone yawning. Alone, you cannot see all of those. And then at the end of the training, you get to get objective feedback to each other, which is really, really crucial for your next venture. Because there's a lesson in everything, every activity you're learning. And if you're alone, you learn and you will learn, but you learn limited knowledge. But when there are two of you and you share what you observed, what worked, what didn't work, what you'll do next, you can say it's a bomb. Next venture will be a bomb because you're going to create something better than that. And like I said, if I see alone, if I watch something alone, I'll see only from my perspective. But if someone else watches the same thing, they'll give their perspective. And I say, oh, from that angle also, I haven't thought. Same thing happens at the other side also.
All right, all
Yeah.
right. So it seems that you have all sorted out on what you're going to do next in your forward journey and wherever you come from right now. It seems that you already are carrying abundant experience with yourself to move you forward. With that, it seems that there is a huge promising career for you ahead, and there is lots to learn from you. And anybody who is part of your audience or your crowd will definitely be gainers. With that, I conclude this session, this podcast, this very, very good and very, I would say, valuable podcast, where you've also given recommendations to new and upcoming trainers. And I thank you so much for your time and everything. Thank you very much. Thank you for all those pointers. Thank you for making this so lively. Thank you.
That,
And we thank our organizing team as well.
yeah, sure. Yeah, yes, yes. I'm really grateful for this opportunity, and you have done a really good job digging me out.
Yeah,
I hope the audience find helpful, and
always a
if I get to
pleasure.
work with the organizers, it'd be
Yeah,
very
always a
good
pleasure.
opportunity.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And with that, I would allow you to take leave.
Okay,
And we
sure,
will
sure, sure.
come back in our next upcoming podcast, which will be done next week on the same time. Everybody from
Okay,
the audience, please stay tuned because we will have someone else as a speaker and a host, which could be me or could be anybody else. So stay tuned, keep smiling, and bye bye. Bye.
bye. I'll take a leave.